The role that the state is having in driving black participation in the manufacturing sector is twofold. One is to ensure that our black entrepreneurs are having spaces to operate, and one of those spaces are actually the industrial parks. That is why government, for example, in the past 2 years, they've been embarking on a program called Revitalization of the Industrial Parks under the DTI, the Department of Trade Industry, focusing on making sure that, for example, those industrial parks, one, we are focusing on the security of the industrial parks, where we put fencing around the industrial parks. We are focusing, for example, secondly, on the lighting, where we are having high mass lights in the industrial parks, and also focusing on the infrastructure, like the roads, and now focusing on the factories as well, on the actual factories as well. Because some of the buildings, you will know that they are still built with asbestos. Those things need to not be taken away now. But one of the biggest challenges also that government is focusing on very closely is around electricity, because without electricity that is actually reliable in those parks, we are not going to be able to assist our entrepreneurs. But second to that one, there's a lot of other programs that government is involved in, like the Black Nationals program, that is focusing now on empowering now our black entrepreneurs to participate meaningfully in the manufacturing sector. And under that program of the Building Industrialist, we are targeting all the sectors, looking at the agro processing, we're looking at textiles, we're looking at technology manufacturing, so all the other sectors that are actually involved in driving the economy of this region. And we're having a hope that says, if that program can actually be implemented in this area of Queenstown, we can create a lot of jobs for our people. We can create the black industrialists that are needed by the economy. And then now we can change now the face of the economy of this country and over the region as well.
Black Sport has played a huge role in the local economy. One, from the job creation point of view, we've got 25 full-time employees and 10 part-time employees who provide for their families because of Black Sport. Black Sport Media, like any other startup company, we faced and we're still facing some challenges. To name a few, that would be infrastructure from the government side, roads, electricity, stable electricity, government support in terms of their buying power and them being deliberate in supporting black emerging companies. Also market entry in terms of the huge corporate South Africa. For example, your Coca-Colas, your SAB, your big banks, who all have presence in the Queenstown and the rural areas, but somehow their procurement is centralized in the big cities. Yet we've got a potential to supply them as well. Another challenge would be access to funding, adequate funding, as well as machinery. We need more machines in order for us to be able to produce more and also keep up with the demand and be able to compete at a national and international level. We have 3 primary divisions. One is on clothing, where we manufacture school uniform like these ones, and for private sector, golf shirts like these. Now, with only 100 schools as clients, the company has got a potential of reaching a turnover of 50 million and creating over 40 permanent jobs on just one department. We also have a printing division, which, if we were to get into the corporate sector, where we print annual reports, magazines like the ones I have with me now, would actually help the company grow, where we're talking of turnovers of over 50 million rands per annum, with jobs, permanent jobs of over 50 full-time employees and a 24-hour operation.
My name is Zama Zulu. We started Wonder Toilet Rolls back in 2010 with myself and my partner, a lady, Mrs. Tumisa Chwaka. After seeing a gap in the market, noting that the biggest selling brands of toilet paper, in fact 100% of the brands of toilet paper that were produced here before we started came from outside the province. So we felt that's a gap to be closed in order to create employment and to make a bit of a profit for ourselves. Setting up or assisting us to set up our own paper mill, even if we form a cluster, because there's quite a few of toilet paper manufacturers within the province. If we can form a cluster of them, which we have started already, and a cluster of all of us people that would commit to buy from that particular paper mill, and hence saving on the price of raw materials, and translating that saving into the lower margins at the retail stores, and eventually at the consumers, putting money into the consumer's wallet, because it would generally, just the entire industry would, having a mill would actually force the prices to go down just generally in the industry.
Igama lami nguY.Mfundo, i-founder yale company. Ndiqale le company as informal. Ndinqwenelela le company yokubana ibe ngaphezu koku ukwenzela ndizokwazi usuplya i-furniture shops ezikhoyo apha eMzantsi Afrika. Right, siya-suplya urhulumente nge-furniture, kodwa ke ndiyafuna ungena apha kwi-private sector.
Okay, the economic impact, first and foremost, very importantly, is that we basically use local labor. We try very hard to uplift the local community that we are based in. We are basically based in eZibeleni, and basically all of our employees are from eZibeleni Township. So what we do is we try to alleviate unemployment in the area by doing so. And also we help with the economy of Queenstown in such a way that we now offer such a wide range, to the point that a person doesn't necessarily have to go to East London or to Port Elizabeth for a certain item of furniture that is not found in any furniture shop. So that's why we do custom-based items. Then the person can get exactly what it is that they want, meaning that they will basically invest in Queenstown-based products. So that's basically the impact that we make economically. The kind of assistance that the company would basically require is, like I mentioned, with one of our challenges, lack of machinery. So we would require quite a bit of machinery in terms of, if I can make a few examples, granite cutting machinery, circular saws, and things like that. And that would immensely save us a lot of costs. Instead of us going to another place to cut some granite for the kitchen tops that we normally make, then we would actually save quite a bit of cost if we were to do the whole thing here in the company.
Hi, I'm Saji James. I am founder of this Mutton Roofing and Fencing. Its registered name is Best Energy, trading as Mutton Roofing and Fencing. It started 3 years back. We are making different products for fencing: welded mesh, netting wire, razor wire, barbed wire, nails. We are using imported machines. You can see the machines behind. I found that there is no other companies in Eastern Cape making or this type of fencing product, welded mesh, netting wire, razor wire, and this type of items. So I found a real gap here to make, and especially the transporting cost is very high nowadays. So it's better to make locally, and it can create local employment. That is, again, in all over South Africa, only 4 companies it's in this field. Our main problem or main challenges is getting raw material in Eastern Cape or in Queenstown. It's a very lengthy process and it's very costly. It's going to minimum, we need a 10 to 20 million to do that type of things. Initially I didn't have enough money to do that type of plan, so we decided to import directly from overseas. Initially we were importing for $600 per ton fully processed raw material, and in this 2 years time or 2.5 years time, from $600 to $900 raw material price is gone up. So that was a big challenge in the local market. We couldn't match the price with other companies in South Africa, because all other companies, 4 companies in South Africa, is making their own raw material themselves and making the finished goods.
I am Benedict Jordan. I am the branch secretary of the Black Management Forum, BMF, in Chris Hani district. The Black Management Forum seeks to achieve transformation, socio-economic transformation. It is a thought leadership organization, and it advocates for socio-economic transformation. What we need to understand is that we need to transform and we need to support our black-owned manufacturers so that they are able to then filter through the gains to the less fortunate. So for example, in this case where you have manufacturers have an idea, they have most of the resources, and they just need a little bit of input and support, and then they will be able to then transform this. For example, in Komani. Komani is an economic hub. It has industrial areas. We have what we call the Komani industrial parks. There's the Whittlesea industrial area, as well as there's Blaine industrial area. These are central to eradicating poverty and to give an impetus to job creation.